Alright, future project leaders, we are officially moving into the core engine room of project management. You just completed the project management fundamentals section, which built your foundational understanding. Now, get ready to dive deep into the scope and schedule section, where we transform ideas into actionable plans. This section is all about building the work and the timeline, giving you the blueprints to deliver exactly what is needed when it is needed. We will cover 12 essential lectures here. First, we tackle collect requirements, making sure we truly understand what stakeholders want. Then, in define scope, you will learn how to precisely outline the project boundaries. Next, create work breakdown structure shows you how to break down the work into manageable pieces. Let us look at a simple example of how a requirements traceability matrix works. Imagine our new internal reporting system project. Your RTM would have columns for requirement identifier, a unique number like REAQ001, requirement description, such as the system shall display sales data for the last 12 months, source, which might be sales department head interview, design document linking to design spec v1.2, test case linking to test plan TC005, and status showing if it is approved, in progress, or completed. The process of using an RTM involves continuously updating these links as the project progresses. When a requirement is approved, its status changes. When a design is created to address it, that link is added. When a test case is written, that link is added too. This ensures every requirement is accounted for and tested. A common error with the RTM is treating it as a static document created once and then forgotten. That is a huge mistake. The RTM must be actively maintained throughout the project lifecycle. Without it, you lose visibility into whether all requirements are being met, making scope validation and control incredibly difficult. The RTM is your audit trail for requirements. Understanding these tools and outputs is not just for the exam, it is for your daily project success. When you collect requirements effectively, you lay a solid foundation for everything else. You prevent scope creep, reduce rework, and ensure stakeholder satisfaction. This is one of those foundational skills that will serve you throughout your entire career. Now that we have explored how to collect and document requirements, the next logical step is to take these detailed needs and consolidate them into a comprehensive project description. This leads us directly into our next lecture, Define Scope, where you will learn how to transform these individual requirements into a clear, agreed-upon project boundary. Keep that momentum going. We will then explore validate scope versus control scope, understanding how to confirm and manage project deliverables. After that, we transition to the timeline, starting with define activities, identifying the specific tasks. Sequence activities teaches you to order these tasks logically. We then delve into dependencies, leads, and lags, mastering the relationships between tasks. Next, you will learn to estimate activity durations, predicting how long tasks will take. Develop schedule is where all these pieces come together into a coherent timeline. We will then demystify the critical path method, revealing the longest path of activities. You will also get the basics of schedule compression, learning how to shorten project timelines. Finally, we wrap up with control schedule, ensuring your project stays on track. Why does this matter so much for your career and the Certified Associate in Project Management exam? Because scope and schedule are where most projects succeed or fail. Mastering these processes will make you an indispensable asset, capable of preventing costly rework and missed deadlines. This knowledge is not just theoretical, it is immediately applicable to any project you lead. So, are you ready to unlock the secrets to defining project success from the very beginning? How do you ensure you're building the right thing, not just a thing? Many project professionals jump straight into planning, only to find out later they misunderstood what was truly needed. This leads to wasted effort, budget overruns, and unhappy stakeholders. This lecture, Collect Requirements, is your first critical step in avoiding that exact pitfall. It is the process of defining and documenting stakeholder needs to meet project objectives. Think of it like a chef taking an order from a customer. The chef cannot just start cooking. They need to understand dietary restrictions, preferred ingredients, portion sizes, and presentation. If they get this wrong, the meal, no matter how well cooked, will not satisfy the customer. Your project is that meal, and your stakeholders are the customers. This process is about making sure you gather all the necessary ingredients and instructions before you even think about turning on the stove. This is simpler than it sounds, but it requires discipline. One common confusion I want to clear up right away is the difference between requirements and scope. Requirements are the detailed needs and expectations that stakeholders have for the project's product, service, or result. They are the granular details. Scope, which we will define in the next lecture, is the sum of all the products, services, and results to be provided by a project. Requirements feed into the scope. The requirements are the specific desires, and the scope is the overall boundary of what the project will deliver to fulfill those desires. To effectively collect requirements, project managers use a variety of tools and techniques which are crucial for the certified associate in project management exam. Let us explore some of these essential methods for gathering that critical information. First, consider interviews. This is a formal or informal approach to elicit information from stakeholders by talking to them directly. It is excellent for understanding individual perspectives and building rapport. For example, if you're building a new internal reporting system, you would interview department heads to understand their current pain points and desired data outputs. Next, we have focus groups. These bring together pre-qualified stakeholders and subject matter experts to learn about their expectations and attitudes regarding a proposed product, service, or result. Imagine gathering a group of end users for that reporting system to discuss what features would be most helpful. Facilitated workshops are another powerful technique. These are highly structured sessions that bring together key stakeholders to define product requirements. Joint Application Design, or JAD, workshops are common in software development, bringing developers and users together. Quality Function Deployment, or QFD, is often used in manufacturing to translate customer desires into technical requirements. Brainstorming is a well-known technique for generating a large number of ideas in a short period. It is useful early in the project to uncover all possible requirements without initial judgment. The Delphi technique is similar but involves a panel of experts who provide anonymous forecasts and feedback, reducing bias and promoting consensus. This is great when stakeholders might be influenced by others in a group setting. For larger groups, questionnaires and surveys allow you to gather information from a broad audience quickly. If you need feedback on potential features for a new company-wide intranet, a survey can reach hundreds of employees efficiently. Benchmarking involves comparing actual or planned practices or products to those of comparable organizations. This helps identify best practices, generate ideas for improvement, and measure performance. For instance, if you're designing a new customer service process, you might benchmark against leading companies in your industry. Observation is about directly viewing individuals in their environment performing their job. This is particularly useful when people have difficulty articulating their needs or when their stated needs differ from their actual behavior. For example, observing staff using the existing reporting system might reveal inefficiencies they do not consciously recognize. Prototypes are working models of a product. They allow stakeholders to experience a proposed solution and provide feedback, helping to refine requirements iteratively. A clickable wireframe for a new website is a prototype that helps collect requirements by showing, not just telling. Document analysis involves reviewing existing project documentation and business literature to identify relevant information. This could include business plans, marketing materials, agreements, or process manuals. It is a great way to understand the current state before designing the future state. Finally, context diagrams are visual representations of the product scope. They show how a system and external entities interact, providing a high-level view of the inputs and outputs. This helps clarify the boundaries of what is in scope and what is out. Now, let us turn our attention to the output of this crucial process. The primary output is the requirements documentation. This is a detailed description of how individual requirements meet the business need for the project. It includes functional requirements, which describe what the product should do, and non-functional requirements, which describe quality attributes like performance, security, or usability. It also covers quality requirements, support and training requirements, and transition requirements. This document is the bedrock for all subsequent planning. Another vital output is the requirements traceability matrix, or RTM. This is a grid that links product requirements from their origin to the deliverables that satisfy them. Think of it as a living document that connects every single requirement back to its source and forward to its design, development, and testing.